She comes in with good form. Back-to-back wins for her. She's 4 for 6 on the year. Girl power in the Maple Leaf Trot. Here they come. Off and trotting, big start for Lindy the Great, who's quick away down the center. A couple steps there, though, for Lindy the Great. Gets his act together now and strides strong to the front. Lindy the Great on the outside. Beads at the inside. Beads is going to leave Lindy the Great out there. Was putting in steps. Third outside and pressing on now. As they drive into the turn is Forbidden Trade. As McClure aggressively gets him up into it here early. Backed off into fourth is Atlanta. Fifth and Park going into the turn is Back of the Neck. Further back at the inside from in sixth is Reign of Honor. Then seventh to Manchego. Further back to Perfetto. Final two Ready for Money and Hypnotic AM. The quarter in 27 flat, and Forbidden Trade tastes the front end. Leads it by 2 lengths. Back into second is Beads, Lindy the Great, then Atlanta. Atlanta at the inside from at fourth. Sponstead trying to force the hand of Gingras. He waits and waits and waits, and Gingras sits and sits and sits with Atlanta in the way to the midway point. Half in, half out anyway. Towards the inside, that is Reign of Honor from in fifth. Now Atlanta's to the outside with the cover Back of the Neck. Further back on the outside is Manchego, then Perfetto scooting up the inside, Hypnotic AM, and Ready for Money. Halftime 55-2. Forbidden Trade going into the final turn leads. Beads is back in second. Now Atlanta brings it. She's third outside and rolling now for Gingras. Back into fourth is Lindy the Great. Beads blew up in the pocket spot. There's a 2-hole trip Gonzo as Beads made a break around the final turn. It's Forbidden Trade 2 lengths in front. Atlanta back in second. Lindy the Great is third. Then to the outside is Back of the Neck. Manchego was mired in traffic and her nightmare just got worse. She's rolled off stride. Manchego goes off stride. 3/4 in 123-2. And it's Atlanta coming into the stretch. Forbidden Trade back in there. Forbidden Trade clear by 3. Atlanta's backed away. Here's Lindy the Great on the outside, storming up late now. Lindy the Great on the outside trying to play giant killer. And it's Lindy the Great in a shocker. Lindy the Great won it by a length over Forbidden Trade. Then a late driving Perfetto got up for third. Hypnotic AM fourth in 151-3.
You mentioned him.
You mentioned him.
Yeah.
We didn't mention him. You mentioned Lindy the Great.
Go.
We're live here after the race, getting our initial reactions after the Maple Leaf Trot. Randy, what a race.
Unbelievably great race. You know, kind of a heartbreaker in a way, because I really wanted to see, you know, Forbidden Trade get there to the wire. He so deserves it. But, you know, the James McDonald year just keeps rolling along. I mean, you witness it every night. You're here every night. You see what's going on with him. And when, you know, as a driver, when things are going your way, man, it's a great feeling, you know. But sometimes when things aren't going your way, it's just, you know, it can be the exact opposite. But that was amazing. I mean, that horse threw a couple steps in leaving.
Yes.
He could have just as easily run, took himself out of the gate, and now he's standing in the winner's circle.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'm going to be so excited to hear what's going through James's head. Hopefully Chad's able to ask him and just be able to get that initial reaction, because it did look like this one might have gotten steppy right away, right from the get-go.
Absolutely, you know, and I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is call your race off 3 steps out of the gate, you know. I mean, that is just such a frustrating and just such a depressing thing. But, you know, James steadied him, got him back going, and reeled him in, and good for James. That's fantastic. Although I just still wish Forbidden Trade would have won.
Look at the third and fourth place finishers. Hypnotic AM, that's someone that you mentioned too. You thought was offering a lot of value. I mean, that one was capable of a huge effort. Another mare in there, and Perfetto draws in, has the 11 saddlecloth, but drew out of post 8, so definitely had the luxury of that. And it's nice to see one of our local horses on our circuit be able to pick up such a big chunk of the Maple Leaf Trot.
Can you imagine though, if you're Dagfinn Henriksen and your horse doesn't draw into the final, you think to yourself, like, his lines are great, you put him in there for a reason, you thought that he can do, but then he doesn't get in. Then all of a sudden you find out that he is getting in because there was a scratch, so he draws in, and Dagfinn finishes third in the biggest trot race in Canada. Fantastic for Dagfinn. Way to go.
We're going to have to send it over to Kenny and hear all about the Maple Leaf Trot.
Yeah, a lot of great storylines coming out of this Maple Leaf Trot, including 6th Lindy the Great scoring here tonight. 7-year-old trotting son of Crazed out of the Muscles Yankee mare. High Score Kemp gets it done for Andy Miller's stable. John Schmucker, John Mellenbacher in the VIP Internet stable. Trained by Julie Miller. And catch driven to victory tonight by James McDonald. What a season it's been for him. Johnny on the spot here tonight. McDonald clicking with 6th Lindy the Great. 4th win of the year from 11 attempts. It's the 19th lifetime score now for Lindy the Great. And if you have a race and it's called the Maple Leaf Trot, it's a prerequisite that you have to have a Maple Leaf make the trophy presentation. And that's the guy on the right, Nick Ritchie, the newest member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Played for my beloved Boston Bruins last year, so he'll be a great addition to the Toronto club this season. Big loss for Bruins fans, but a big gain for Leaf fans. And the Maple Leaf Trot, hardware doled out by Nick Ritchie, one of the newest members of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Thanks for joining us. Hockey's a big passion for him, obviously, but horses are as well. His family deeply ingrained in racing here in Ontario. His father, Paul, his uncle, Jim. Hey, how about a Maple Leaf Trot for James McDonald? And Lindy the Great. In a wild Maple Leaf Trot, wasn't it? 151 and 3.
You're holding it, and then we'll get you holding it up in a sec. Looking right down here, and then one of the trophy up. And just tilt it forward a bit. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Hold on. See? Yeah, that's good. Give me a pair. Push it right out in front of you. Here. Just right out like that. There you go. I can snap it. Oh, that's great. Can you do me a favor? Give it a big kiss on the side. There, look at me, look at me, look at me. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, sir. Thank you.